How you doing? Will we see another good champion after Spiderwoman's nerf? So a lot of people are upset the Spiderwoman is getting nerfed, and they're afraid that they don't want to rank up new champions anymore because they think they may get nerfed. And there's one right here that people are afraid that could get nerfed. Obviously, it doesn't help when you have Kabam YouTubers hyping up champions, calling them broken, like Minoru Minoru, who's nowhere near broken, you know, like, not gonna mention any names. Vega! So, when you hype up champions, calling them broken when they're not, this gives Kabam incentive to nerf them. Okay, oh, this Kabam YouTuber or this YouTuber called this champion broken. So that means that just gives us the green light to nerf champions. So really, she's nowhere near as good as Mr. Sinister. Even the nerf version of Mr. Sinister, she's not nowhere near as good as Mr. Sinister. He's nowhere near as good as Onslaught, which we're going to talk about later. But she's very like a niche champion. Okay, she counters Cosmic pretty well for most Cosmic champions in the game, but that's only like 1/6 of the class. So she can counter 16% of the class really well. Okay, great. Like, not to mention there is superior class as well. So, let's say maybe not very well, but let's say like good enough. So she can counter 50% of content good enough in the game. When you look at Mr. Sinister, that can counter like at least 90% of the content in the game very well. Like, she's not as good as Mr. Sinister when it comes to incursion, as far as questing goes, and like Necropolis and all those content. She's nowhere near as good as Mr. Sinister. So like, she's just a very niche champion, and the fact that people are afraid she's gonna get nerfed is really a bad sign. Okay, and really you gotta blame YouTubers. I'm not gonna mention any names, of course. Vega. When Kabam YouTubers call them broken when they're not, it doesn't really help at all. So, and I talked to Kabam about this many years ago. This is probably like 4 years ago. So let's mention it. Let's talk about the difference between OP and broken as well. So I talked to Kabam about this when it comes to Daddy Long Legs. This is about 4 years ago. So when it comes to the balance program, like why would I be happy to buy a champion knowing they could get balance? You know what I mean? I know there are champions that slip through the crack, like Onslaught. We're going to talk about that later. But like, why would I want to buy a champion if I know there's a chance they could get nerfed? So let's talk about how terrible the balance program is. So let's talk and why they should get rid of it. So the balance program came out about 2022, and look at the chart when it comes to Kabam's profits. Since the balance program came out, they've been losing money every year. Okay, I've said this probably 2 years, if not 3 years ago. The balance program is the worst thing Kabam has ever done, and this chart just proves why. How do you think you're gonna be like? Why? How do you feel like buying a champion knowing they could be nerfed? It just makes no sense. Okay, and like, let's talk about the OP definition. So when it comes to OP, like, how do I feel about champion like in the future? Like, if how I don't feel good about buying a champion knowing they could get nerfed, and the fact that Kabam is trying to limit champions that are OP, right? So what is the definition of OP? When it's exceptionally and intentionally strong, creating an unfair advantage. Unlike a bug, this element is working exactly as the developers coded it. So let me repeat that again. Unlike a bug, this element is working exactly as the developers coded it, but its power level was poorly balanced against the other option. So like Hercules is OP, right? You know, so when it comes to Hercules is OP and he's not balanced. It's pretty obvious. So, and then for some reason, Kabam decides to like, oh, we can't have any more OP champions, so we're gonna come up with the balance program. As you could see earlier, they're losing money every year since the balance program came out. But there are a few champions that slipped to the cracks. So let's look at those champions. So one more thing is when it comes to Nico Munuro, she's nowhere near, like I said earlier, like Mr. Sinister. She's nowhere near as good as Mr. Sinister or Onslaught. So let's talk about Onslaught. Let's go to Onslaught first. Onslaught. I do believe, and I think, I don't know if it's already obvious, but I do believe if we had a vote who's better, Onslaught or Nikaru Munuro, a lot of people would agree Onslaught is better than Nikaru Munuro. I believe that, okay? And he didn't get nerfed. Maybe perhaps because two things. Because I made a video saying that Onslaught is guaranteed nerf. And the reason why I did it, because, you know, I don't... the reason why I said it is because what is this? I don't want them to nerf Onslaught. And you know, when it comes to Kabam, they don't like it when I'm right. So that's why this. You know what? We can't have Reno right all the time. So we should not nerf Onslaught. And also keep in mind how much backlash they will get if they nerf Onslaught. Okay, so that's why I think Onslaught didn't get nerfed. Not to mention, there's another champion that's better than Nikaru Munuro. Can you guys guess who it is? Is Mr. Sinister, okay? And, you know, because of the balance program, and because I'm pretty sure because of Daddy Longlegs, they don't want to fix his science regen, because why would, if they fix his science regen, he would be completely broken. I mean, balance. Yeah. Wink, wink, balance. So it's really unfortunate. Like, are we ever going to see another good champion when it comes to MCOC, like Mr. Yes, I get it. Mr. Sinister slips to the crack. So is when it comes to Onslaught as being OP when it comes to the game. But it's like people are afraid. Like, you know, like especially when it comes to Nico Munuro, she could be getting nerfed, and she's nowhere near as good as Onslaught and Mr. Sinister, which is really unfortunate that we might never see a good champion in MCOC again because of the balance program. Thank you.